Channel 5.
This is the CBS Evening News. Dan Rather reporting. Good evening. Hundreds of searchers spread out today over a Scottish countryside that is littered with twisted metal and carnage from Pan American Flight 103. They look for the dead, the missing, and the cause of Wednesday's crash. A review of tapes from the jumbo jet's flight recorders so far has provided no definite clues. CBS News correspondent Doug Tennell is on the scene in Lockerbie, Scotland.
The first reports from Pan Am 103's black box. The cockpit's gauges were normal, warning lights off, and conversation routine. The flight's voice recorder registered a single unusual noise, and then there was nothing as the plane broke up at 31,000 feet. While experts were carefully studying that faint noise today, rescue workers removed the bodies of a flight crew that never had the chance to call for help. British analysts say the abrupt shutdown of the black box recordings points to either massive structural failure or a bomb. The American investigators, numbering nearly 40 in all that joined the search for clues today, have declined all comment on their findings. In the last 24 hours, the authorities have told the public nothing new about the cause of the crash. Information about casualties is also confused.
This exercise does not translate into neat sums or neat lines in hard copy. It's an ongoing search for bodies and remains. There'll be no nice, neat sums. As I speak to you, it is highly possible that someone has discovered yet another body. It's a very fluid situation.
Yesterday, police could account for 150 dead. Today, the numbers are the same. Soldiers and police are still digging in the town of Lockerbie, still combing the hills outside. A white ribbon means another body waiting to be collected, but there are still more than 100 missing and presumed dead. The search for the missing has turned into a major military-style operation, with troops, police, and volunteers scouring far more territory than anybody thought would be necessary only a day ago. It's out here, miles from the center of destruction, where a pattern of wreckage may well be emerging. In a direct line from the radar beacon 18 miles east of Lockerbie, sections of the cargo bays in one area, suitcases, backpacks, and personal belongings in another. The investigation of the position and condition of wreckage here has not even begun in earnest. People hoped the black boxes would answer all the questions about Pan Am 103, but today the indications are it may not be that easy. Doug Tennell, CBS News, Lockerbie, Scotland.
Police in Finland today followed up on the telephone threat that preceded the Pan Am crash. The trail led to the man who allegedly made the call. CBS News Pentagon correspondent David Martin reports.
That anonymous phone call to the U.S. Embassy in Helsinki, Finland, which just yesterday seemed such a promising lead, appears in the words of one U.S. official to have washed out. The caller said a bomb would be unwittingly carried aboard a Pan Am plane by a Finnish woman, and indeed a woman of Finnish descent, 26-year-old Maria Majula, died in the crash. But she was an economic analyst living in Toronto and was returning from a company training course in London. U.S. officials say that profile makes her an unlikely pawn for a terrorist plot. The caller also identified Yasan Garadat, an Arab living in Finland, as one of the ringleaders of the plot, and said he had ties to the notorious Abu Nidal. But Finnish police have questioned Garadat, searched his home, and found nothing suspicious. One other lead which went nowhere: a passenger who boarded the plane in Frankfurt with a ticket for New York, but got off in London. British police tracked him down and determined he had not left any luggage on the plane, luggage which might conceal a bomb. That virtually rules out the possibility any passenger knowingly carried a bomb on board the airplane. And the Helsinki phone call looks like nothing more than a macabre coincidence. But there is still plenty of evidence terrorists were working to blow up an airliner. In October, police in West Germany rounded up suspected Palestinian terrorists and found a radio containing plastic explosives linked to a device that would set the bomb off when a plane reached a certain altitude. Terrorists clearly have the ability to smuggle an altitude-sensitive bomb on board an airplane. But officials who just yesterday seemed certain that was what happened to Pan Am Flight 103 now are not so sure. David Martin, CBS News, the Pentagon.
On one of the heaviest travel days of the year, the anticipation of flying home was tinged with anxiety over Wednesday's Pan Am 103 disaster. CBS News correspondent Mark Phillips reports the Federal Aviation Administration today ordered airlines to review airport security measures worldwide, but continued to defend, keeping secret from the public, the bomb threat against Pan Am's Frankfurt to New York route.
Whatever the crash investigation turns up, the Federal Aviation Administration isn't taking any chances. It's issued another security alert to airlines and airports here and overseas.
To request of them to focus on their security programs with a heightened level of awareness.
The FAA says the current alert is necessary because of increased tensions after Wednesday's crash. The flying public, however, has not been officially informed of this alert, just as it wasn't for the one that was in effect when Pan Am 103 went down. In fact, it's policy not to make most threats public.
Such a public statement with nothing more to go on than an anonymous telephone call, you'd literally have closed down the air traffic in the world.
But many air travelers have been saying they'd rather know the risks.
If the true concern is for the safety of everybody, then the word should have been spread and everybody should have known about it.
They owe a duty to people to tell them so that you can make an informed decision. If you want to fly, you can fly.
The FAA says it gets threats every day, in fact an average of 2 threats a day. Part of its job is filtering the real threats from the hoaxes. And there's another disturbing fact. Of those terrorist acts that do actually happen, very few are preceded by a threat. Yet even as the investigation continues, the FAA is already asking some hard questions about security.
If in fact an explosive device was there, naturally it shows that there was some opportunity window, some door was open in that system.
A door the FAA wants to close. It's testing machines in San Francisco that use new technology to detect plastic explosives in luggage.
It's difficult to tell whether a shape in an X-ray picture is a block of explosive or a block of cheese.
Another company in Boston is working on a device that actually sniffs out non-metallic bombs which passengers might be carrying. Just the suggestion that a terrorist bomb caused the Pan Am crash may speed the development of these machines and make such attacks more difficult in the future, whether the public is aware of the threats or not. Mark Phillips, CBS News, Washington.
West Germany began a criminal investigation today to determine whether a bomb was planted aboard Flight 103 in Frankfurt. And CBS News correspondent Alan Pizzi today checked out Frankfurt airport security in the wake of that telephone bomb threat.
The FAA says it did respond to the threat, that security was stepped up at Frankfurt Airport.
Pan Am, for instance, X-rayed all checked baggage, hand-checked all carry-on baggage, notified all their counter and gate personnel.
But at the Frankfurt check-in for Pan Am Flight 103 today, none of the checked baggage was X-rayed for bombs. The security check, which Pan Am officials insist is adequate, is based on checking boarding passengers against luggage. One body matched to every bag. If the bomb got on board Wednesday's ill-fated Flight 103, it probably went through this kind of security check.
Does the bag belongs to you?
Yes, that's right.
Was packed by yourself?
Yes.
Always under your control since you packed it?
Some passengers are singled out for more detailed examinations, for reasons security officials won't discuss. But if a terrorist is able to lie and is willing to die, there seems little to stop a bomb going on board. Pan Am was reportedly told by Israeli security specialists 2 years ago that its security was dangerously lax. The Israeli company said Pan Am ignored the report and fired them. But airline officials disputed that and said security changes were made. Passengers checking in for today's flight also dismissed terrorist threats.
I'm not going to let something like that terrify me and keep me from going somewhere besides Germany or traveling on a boat or driving. If I'm going to fly, then I'm going to fly, and if something happens, then it was my time.
Mrs. Green said she had a lot of luggage because she was delivering for Santa. The German equivalent of the FBI has started an investigation to try to find out if the bomb was placed aboard Pan Am 103 in luggage checked here. The question hanging over here is, if there was a bomb, can officials figure out how it slipped through security before it could happen again? Alan Pizzi, CBS News, Frankfurt.
Britain's Transportation Secretary Paul Channon is supposed to be in charge of the investigation of the Pan Am crash. Today, Channon arrived in Barbados on vacation. The opposition Labour Party called that, and I quote, unbelievable, intolerable, and totally insensitive, unquote. Still to come on tonight's CBS Evening News, correspondent Bruce Morton on the impact of the crash on holiday travelers. And Bob Simon in Bethlehem, where only the lights proclaim the season.
Make me rich, you say? $10 million rich? How about this January 27th, Get Rich Night at American Family, when I will announce not just one, but 7 winning numbers on television for 7 big prizes, from $10,000 to $10 million. You get 7 chances to get rich in America's only sweepstakes with my picture, the American Family Sweepstakes, the one that's just like entering 7 sweepstakes at once. Last chance. Enter today.
They've made Tylenol even better.
Gel caps are concentrated power.
They're solid, and they go down easier than capsules.
Tylenol gel caps are smaller than capsules, with extra-strength pain relief concentrated into a solid center under a smooth gelatin coating, so they're strong and easy to swallow.
Fantastic. Just fantastic.
Gel caps. Tylenol gel caps.
Powerful pain medicine.
Extra-strength Tylenol gel caps. It's not a capsule. It's better.
This holiday, save an arm and a leg with Pam. Pam No-Stick Cooking Spray makes baking a whole lot easier. Pam, because how you cook is as important as what you cook.
It hurts. Sinus pressure and headache. It really hurts. Sinutab combines the painkiller in Tylenol with the decongestant in Sudafed to give you more than either one alone. It stops the pain. Sinutab stops the pain.
Before the Pan American crash, this nation's airlines expected 22 million holiday travelers between the middle of December and January 2nd. It's a different crowd than the business passengers who make up the bulk of airline business the year round. More college students and service personnel, more children this time of year. What effect did this week's tragedy have at the nation's airports? Bruce Morton looked into that.
You call me, let me know when your flight gets in, okay? Okay.
Christmas time is travel time. At airports all over the country today, people were getting on planes or waiting to get on planes, worrying about the kids, wrestling with baggage, just hanging out with time to kill. These are traditional journeys.
It's family, it's church, it's Christmas, it's celebration, I don't know.
And it's gate number 940.
But this year, it's a little different. You couldn't help thinking.
Everybody on the plane is reading about the accident and the headlines, and they're flashing you in the eye.
People in the flying business had it on their minds.
We're more apprehensive about flying than the passengers, simply because we knew some of the flight attendants that were on there.
The white zone is for immediate loading. But ordinary travelers thought about it too.
I'm not an extremely religious person, but I actually said a prayer on the plane coming here.
If it's going to happen, it's going to happen. Let God, put me in his arms and take me with him. I mean, if it happens, it's happened. There's nothing we can do about it.
Putting little girls on a plane for Europe, you worry.
It's very scary to think about, not for them to go, because then you can go in there, it's probably all right, but coming back is very scary.
Okay, Bruno. Going to Europe yourself, you make up your mind and go.
It's like sitting in a house and worried that the roof might fall down. You can't live this way,
I just whispered a prayer before I left and, saying, oh, well, it's all in God's hands.
If you think about it, Christmas is about travelers. Joseph and Mary traveling, the 3 kings following a star. Their travels ended in a miracle. Americans are traveling this weekend a little nervously, a little more prayerfully than usual. Christmas travelers seeking not miracles, but the gifts of friends and family, the gifts of comfort and of joy.
They weren't expecting a 70-year-old coach, that's for sure. But I held my own.
All right, come on.
They never even saw how scared I was. I wouldn't have tried for this job if it hadn't been for AARP. They've got a program that convinces employers that it's smart to hire people like me. I'm not old. People are people. Some of us have just had a little more practice. That's all.
AARP, making a difference. If you love lots of shrimp, Red Lobster is going to make you very happy. Introducing the Shrimp Spectacular Platter, just $7.95. 4 ways to love shrimp, all on one plate. Crispy fried, spicy Cajun popcorn, zesty lemon pepper, and announcing our delicious new grilled shrimp. That's our Shrimp Spectacular Platter, just $7.95. Kid shrimp, $1.95. It's spectacular, now at Red Lobster. And for the holidays, call for party platters to go, ready in just 1 hour.
The new Remington Electroblade vibrating blade system has been an amazing success for those who prefer shaving with a blade. Electroblade's vibrating twin blades glide so easily you'll get the closest, smoothest blade shave you've ever imagined or your money back.
Meeting your new daughter-in-law.
Uh-huh.
With dirty dentures?
I just soaked them.
Soaking's not enough. Denture Cream cleans almost twice as clean as effort into 90 seconds.
Twice as clean.
Brush with Denture Cream or Minty Denture Gel.
A tanker truck carrying propane exploded today on an interstate highway in Memphis, Tennessee, igniting a 700-foot-wide fireball. Authorities said at least 6 people died as flames engulfed houses and cars. 2 children were killed when the blast hurled the tanker 125 yards into a house. A dozen people were injured, 8 of them critically. A fire department spokesman said the tanker skidded off an exit on the interstate and burned. Officials said 4 of the dead, including the truck driver, were killed on the highway. Christmas will be different this year in Kenosha, Wisconsin. There's disagreement between management and labor over what kind of commitment Chrysler made when it acquired the American Motors Corporation and its Kenosha plant last year. But there is no disagreement that this Christmas and the days and years to follow will be different. Gary Reeves explains.
There was no official celebration when the last car rolled off the assembly line here. Just a few souvenir photos and these home movies. But this is not just the end for the nation's oldest car factory. For Kenosha, it's the end of a way of life.
Yeah, it was a lot of tears in there. There was a lot of tears in the plant.
The first car rolled off the line here in 1902, and by the time Hudson merged with Nash to form American Motors, the nation knew Kenosha as Rambler City. At its peak, it built 300,000 cars a year. The cars have changed, the buildings have not. Chrysler says this plant is a victim of simple economic reality. The company needed to close a plant somewhere, and it made the most sense to close the oldest one.
It's our jobs and our cars. Used to be our company. All that's gone.
The closing doesn't make much sense to workers like Wally Andragan, who worked here for 19 years and helped keep the old factory at the top of Chrysler's quality ratings.
No matter what they say about the American cars, I'm proud of the ones that we put out.
But building Chrysler's best cars wasn't enough to save the Kenosha plant.
Being the best and not being employed, I don't feel too good.
For Elmore Horn, the job ended just when he needs it most. His wife is expecting a baby any day now, and his 2 children are expecting the kind of Christmas this family can no longer afford.
Don't mention Christmas.
Some Christmas traditions continue, but it was a different ritual that drew the biggest crowds.
Pink unemployment claim application that you had before you.
The 5,000 laid off here will get a severance package from Chrysler that's considered generous, including an extra week of pay for the holidays. For 8 decades, Kenosha's children grew up secure that there was work building cars. But for the men and women who followed their parents and grandparents into the factory, that kind of security is one gift they cannot give. Gary Reeves, CBS News, Kenosha.
Can I help you?
Yes, I'm looking for a special wine.
What's the occasion?
Well, I have this blind date.
Let me show you something I like.
Gallo Blush Chablis. It's just waiting to be discovered.
Hi, I'm Jerry's friend, and you're the wine lady.
You're Jerry's friend?
Yeah.
Come on in.
So did I get the right wine?
Perfect.
Gallo Blush Chablis. A most unexpected discovery.
I won $1 million in Publishers Clearinghouse.
We won even bigger, $10 million.
Now you can win in the biggest Publishers Clearinghouse sweepstakes ever.
$10 million could be yours if you hurry. We're announcing more winning numbers, more prizes than ever before right on TV. One entry now is good for 5 giant prizes, even $10 million, January 31st.
You can win $10 million too.
Just look for this house and enter the Publishers Clearinghouse Sweepstakes.
Come on, send it in.
I can't get out of bed.
Ever notice how even the smallest cold turns everything into a big effort?
What a drag!
It's time to get the big relief of Dimetap. In 12-hour extend tabs, Dimetap is recommended millions of times by doctors and pharmacists.
So you have a cold? I've got just the thing.
Dimetap. It gets things back to normal.
Pope John Paul received PLO Chairman Yasser Arafat at the Vatican today. The Pope told Arafat that both Palestinians and Israelis have a, quote, fundamental right to their own homelands. And John Paul said he hopes both sides will soon begin negotiations that will lead to peace in the Middle East. There is little peace between Israelis and Palestinians on the West Bank. In Bethlehem, the mayor has called off town-sponsored Christmas celebrations in sympathy with the year-long Arab uprising. CBS News correspondent Bob Simon reports tonight from the land where Christmas began.
Christmas processions in the Holy Land lead to the graveyard this year as the Christian families of fallen Palestinians honor the tombs of their sons. It is a time of lamentation of faces which banish all smiles. Religion and revolution have become indistinguishable in the minds of people here. On the West Bank, miraculous birth and martyrdom are political ideas now. The barely imaginable miracle people pray for is 2 states in one land, one Holy Land. You hear it in all the little Christian towns around Jerusalem.
We, the Palestinians, we are looking forward for our own state, on our own soil here, and this is our real celebration, and it's our Christmas.
The color of Christmas in Bethlehem was olive green today as hundreds of Israeli troops took up positions for the celebration of peace. That's all you see this year, the military and a few monks, Franciscan friars going through their paces the same way they did when crusaders ran the town. There's plenty of room at the inn this week. Tourist traffic is down to a trickle. The Christians tried to cancel Christmas this year, but the Israelis wouldn't let them. Here in Bethlehem's Manger Square, the Christians insisted no parties, no parades, no Christmas tree decorations. The Israelis decorated the tree themselves and put troops all around it to make sure the Christians wouldn't tear down the lights.
If we want to celebrate, we must be happy inside, but we have sadness inside in our hearts.
Around the corner from Manger Square, Mrs. Lenka Hasbun, born in Czechoslovakia, comforts her 3 children. Her husband, their father, an economics professor, was placed in a detention camp last October.
I have support that they will let some prisoners to go home because of the Christmas. But you see, I am still alone.
But if Christians here believe these are extraordinary times, the Israelis want to prove just the opposite. The road to Bethlehem was decorated with 1,000 lights tonight, put up by the Israeli authorities. The message? Most everything is under control. And Merry Christmas. Bob Simon, CBS News, Bethlehem.
American journalist Terry Anderson is about to spend his 4th Christmas as a hostage in Lebanon. Today, several Beirut newspapers published an open letter from his sister, Peggy Say. She pleads with Anderson's pro-Iranian kidnappers to release him and other foreign hostages. But Peggy Say admits that she has little hope anyone will be freed during the holidays.
The finer things in life. Happily, some are affordable, like Grey Poupon Dijon mustard. Grey Poupon is so fine, it's even made with white wine. Its original French Dijon recipe adds distinctive flavor to beef, pork, and poultry, salad dressing and sauces, and of course, sandwiches. So enjoy one of life's finer pleasures.
Pardon me, would you have any Grey Poupon? But of course.
Grey Poupon, one of life's finer pleasures.
I woke up with this killer pressure from a sinus cold.
Sinus cold.
Pain.
Pressure. Congestion.
Couldn't breathe.
Pain. Congestion. Pressure.
The pain was awful.
Congestion. Pressure.
I took new maximum strength Dristan. I'm here.
Discover new maximum strength Dristan. It combines 2 strong medicines to drain sinus cavities, unclog congestion, to relieve pressure and pain.
And it won't make you drowsy.
New maximum strength Dristan. Strong medicine for tough sinus colds.
Since the turn of the century, there have been 16 presidents and 1 original Bengay. There have been 580 Nobel Prize winners and 1 original Bengay. There have been 12 men who walked on the moon and 1 original Bengay. But now we're introducing a different formula Bengay, Bengay warming ice. It goes on cool, then warms as its scent disappears. For fast relief of minor arthritis pain, warming ice. For Bengay, it's a once-in-a-lifetime introduction.
And finally tonight, I'd like to wish each of you a happy holiday with the CBS Evening News tradition. It's our annual Christmas card, featuring the people who work behind the scenes to put this broadcast together every night. Bob Schieffer will be here tomorrow and all of next week. Dan Rather, Merry Christmas, everybody.
Videotape.
This is CBS.
I'm Jim Watkins. Next on Eyewitness News, an